Hey, what's up everybody? Rob Sower here with Sower Real Estate at Keller Williams, and hope you guys all had a great 4th of July. I know for us it was pretty awesome. Just hung out with family, friends. Felt like we were in the middle of a war zone with all the explosions going on around us. So, but fortunately, no one was hurt, that at least that I'm aware of. And so yeah, hopefully you guys had a good time. So jumping right into the market dynamics, a lot of the times I start the video by saying, hey, here's the chart, here's the graph, it does all this kind of stuff. This is what this line means, that line means. And I'm actually going to kind of skip that this time around. I'm going to focus more on what I'm seeing as, I guess you could call the big picture of things. And if you want to know more about the details, you know how to reach out to me. You can look at the charts on the email newsletter. I could just bore you to death with all the different stats. I think what you're really looking for is, okay, what does that mean for me? So a couple of the highlights that I just want to touch on are that in the Ada County market, we are seeing, so far this year, we've seen the prices come down about 5%, and that's pretty huge. Really not a massive surprise, since we've had interest rates going up. Prices kind of have to come back down, and we're seeing the inventory kind of creep up a little bit, but really consumption has been pretty solid. But like I say, the biggest thing about the Ada County market, in my opinion, is that prices are down almost 5% so far this year. As for the North Idaho market, kind of the same thing, a little bit bigger impact. We've seen the prices actually down about 7% this year. Ada County's average home sale price is about $582, and North Idaho for Kootenai County, it's about $640. So again, I don't want to sit here and go through all the different, this chart, like I say, I feel like mostly people, and correct me if I'm wrong, but mostly people are wanting to know, what do all these numbers mean for me? Well, I'll tell you what I'm seeing is I am seeing a lot more opportunity for people to negotiate. I'm seeing a lot of opportunity for buyers to come in and submit offers that are lower. Now, that's not to say that sellers are just going to bite on whatever, but I'll give you an example of something that happened just the other day. I was out showing some properties in, we went from Sandpoint to Priest Lake, Bayview, just some gorgeous view properties. And what was interesting is when the agents would follow up with me, the listing agents would follow up with me and ask what the feedback was. One of the conversations, this property was listed at $785, and we knew it had been sitting on the market for a little while, and my clients had some interest in it, but they weren't super excited about it. And I know that they probably wouldn't have even gone over 700. So I talked with the agent and I just shared, hey, my clients have some interest in this, and they are, really pretty far off on the price. I don't think that they would even come in at 700. Well, what's interesting is the agent shared with me that they really hadn't had that much activity on it, and they had one offer originally that was not quite to 700. And now granted, the sellers, I don't think they were gonna budge on their price, and the agent was pretty much telling me this. However, what that really tells me is, well, it tells me a bunch of things, but for this particular scenario, what it really tells me is that we're seeing a lot of people that are throwing out offers that are much lower than what sellers are asking, and I'm seeing some of those deals come together. Now again, this one here, would have something come together? Maybe not, I don't know. But the big thing to think about is that we are seeing more negotiations. And the other thing that really highlighted for me is just how important it is. And I'm not saying that I'm the best realtor out there or anything like that, but when you know kind of some of those things to ask and those questions, I always say that real estate is kind of a business of nuance, and being able to look at what the market's doing, ask the questions to get the answers from the other agent or find out more of the scenario really puts you in or your clients in a totally different scenario. There's a new construction home that we're working on down in Boise too that kind of has some of those same things where if you know the certain things to ask, you can put yourself in a better position. So one other thing I want to mention again that's I feel is not as known right now, and that is interest rates. Are you aware that a lot of people are finding interest rates below 6%? Now, I know a while ago that would seem like crazy talk, that that's super high, but now we're seeing a lot of people in the sevens. And, you know, I think that that's going to go up later this year with everything going on with the Fed and the jobs report, blah, blah, blah. Not to bore you too much with that, but we're seeing first-time home buyers are able to get into fixed rate homes for under 6%. Now, granted, obviously there's a lot more to it than that. You don't just, you know, it's not just for everybody, but a lot of people don't know that. So again, you know, if that's something you're thinking about or that makes an impact to you, let me know. The other thing I will say is that just because maybe you've bought a home in the past, you might still qualify to be a first-time home buyer if you haven't owned a home for the last 3 years. Maybe you've been renting or something. There are also other programs that I've seen out there for non-first-time home buyers that you can get in for a much lower interest rate as well. Again, I just thought I'd throw that out there because I know interest rates are a huge stumbling block for people right now, and maybe it doesn't have to be. So anyway, all right, that's it for this month's market overview and market, I guess, tips or whatever you want to call it. Hopefully you guys find that helpful. And if, as always, if there's something that we can do to help you figure out what's best for you, whether it's buy, sell, invest, or maybe do nothing, let us know. Thanks. Bye.